All right, with us now is journalist and author of The Red Letter on Substack, Tara Palmieri, and former Manhattan prosecutor Jeremy Saland. Tara, I just want to start with you because you've written, I think, eloquently on this. Just remind people, as the Deputy Attorney General of the United States is in Florida to meet with a convicted felon who is being removed from prison for a moment for this meeting, who is Ghislaine Maxwell? What information might she have?
Well, Ghislaine Maxwell was the top of the pyramid in terms of the grooming operation that Jeffrey Epstein needed to abuse as many as 1,000 girls. He was incapable of carrying out this massive sex trafficking operation without her. And many of the victims that I spoke to recall being assaulted by Ghislaine Maxwell herself. She is a pedophile herself. Virginia Roberts Giuffre, when Ghislaine Maxwell found her on the property at Mar-a-Lago and talked to her, made her feel special with her posh British accent, seemed interested in her. And Virginia said, I want to be a massage therapist. Basically, Ghislaine did what she did to so many other girls. She said, I can make your dreams come true. Come with me to this 50-year-old man's house, a place where no child would go except if they were being led by someone like Ghislaine, who had this charm and this veneer of acceptability. She was a woman, after all. Children don't expect to be, attacked by women. She brought him there, and that's where Virginia says that she was not only molested and raped by Epstein, but by Ghislaine as well. And in their trial, Ghislaine perjured herself twice. And so I think a lot of people forget in this case that she is equally, if not more, liable for this kind of assault and this kind of abuse. And people say, oh, she's the victim. She's the only person who's been prosecuted. She's a woman. There's sexism there. But they don't understand that Ghislaine Maxwell was Bonnie and Clyde. He needed her there. And she's not a reliable witness. And she still says she's innocent. And hundreds and hundreds of women now women recall meeting her, were brought in by her. So I think it's something to remember today. And it's upsetting to them. I talked to Annie Farmer, who was molested by Ghislaine Maxwell as well at 16 years old. And she said when she heard that the Department of Justice, after she testified against Ghislaine Maxwell, spent years of her life building that case that the prosecutors put forward in New York City. I mean, when she heard that the DOJ was going to see her and not the survivors, not the victims, she said it was heart-wrenching. It was upsetting. It made her stomach turn. And they're re-victimizing these women by suggesting that Ghislaine has anything to say of value.
Again, that is important context, Jeremy, as the Deputy Attorney General of the United States, who happens to be President Trump's former personal defense attorney, goes to meet with her today. Talk to me about how unusual this meeting is, what you think we'll learn from it, because honestly, I think the questions that Todd Blanche, the Deputy Attorney General, asks are every bit as interesting potentially as the answers that he gets from Maxwell.
And that's a fair point, John. I think this is really a dog and pony show. This is potentially Donald Trump stamping Maxwell's ticket and Maxwell stamping Donald Trump's ticket. Maybe this person who really does lack credibility. Granted, if you want to know how something was operated from a criminal perspective, you don't want someone on the outside, you want someone on the inside who was involved. So there is credibility on that general base level. But who she is and her involvement and her unwillingness to accept responsibility and allegations of perjury and the victimization of so many women and girls, it is troubling that we're coming to this point, and you really wonder again, why would she not have tried to help herself if she had something to share of value back at the time, meaning at the time of the trial or before the trial. So it is rare and unique. This is not something of great historical context. This is not what we discussed very briefly the other day, Watergate, and we need to go back and dig in and get those files. But I will say again, this really is a dog and pony show, because this is not about the grand jury. This is not about blaming a judge potentially for saying there's no exception to Rule 6E to release that secrecy. This is go to the files themselves, Department of Justice. Donald Trump, dictate it and do it and get whatever answers you can find.
And just one more point on that, because we learned overnight that Donald Trump was told that his name is in the Jeffrey Epstein files. He was asked about that last week, said no, he was never told. He was told, is the reporting now. If you wanted to clear up, and again, having your name in there is not any indication of wrongdoing.
Correct. Very true. Very true.
But if he wanted to clear up how his name was in there, what could he do?
he could do what I just said. Don't go to the grand jury. Don't ask a judge. Go to the files. That's the answer. You're not getting it because he doesn't want to do it potentially. I don't know.
And again, Tara, you've done so much reporting on all of this. What do you expect that we will learn from Maxwell, if anything, today after this meeting?
I don't think there's anything that you could learn from Maxwell that you couldn't learn from the survivors of Jeffrey Epstein, from the victims who testified, who are in the file, who make up the files with their subpoenas, with their testimonies, with the work that they've done to help this case. Why would you go back to the woman who claims over and over again that she is innocent? She's not going to give anything up. I mean, the best case scenario for this administration is if she says, Donald Trump had nothing to do with this. I was innocent. He was innocent. We just so happened to live in Palm Beach and come across Jeffrey Epstein from time to time. I dated him at one time in my life. But she's never going to actually go deep into what happened here. I mean, she's always maintained her innocence. So what does she get out of this? That's the question. And like you said, I really do. I think it would be valuable if they released the transcript of their conversation, so that the American people can know what they actually talked about in this private meeting. And if a deal was made, why would she talk unless she's getting something out of it? And I think we probably will never know that.
It's a fair point. What will be asked? Tara Palmieri, Jeremy Saland, thank you both so much.